All right, Harry. So today's topic is going to be on the Gospel of Luke, and is more importantly the author who wrote it and all the other information that comes with it. Can you get us started here, please?
Yeah, so Luke was one of Jesus' 12 disciples, right?
No, he wasn't actually, which is
So,
interesting how he made his own gospel and everything without being an apostle or.
yeah, so how did Luke get to meet Jesus?
Well, he was a disciple of Paul, so Paul converted him to the faith.
Yeah, I never met Jesus at all.
Hmm.
So how did Luke to be, so Luke got to be a Christian through Paul. He met him on his second missionary journey, and it shows up in Acts 16:10, if you want to look that up. So where was that? And it was at the far end of Turkey, then called Asia. So he was Jewish like Paul, right?
No, he wasn't actually. He was a Gentile like us.
Yeah. According to Colossians 4:11, if you want to look it up, that's where we get to know that. He was a writer of the Gospel of Luke, right? So that part we got right. So he was not a Jew, did not know God or Jesus, and did not even know about Israel in his previous years as far as I know. Yes, that is what we believe was Luke's history. Approximately year 50, missionary Paul met Dr. Luke, a physician, and by Paul's preaching, Luke met and fell in love with Jesus spiritually. Luke was Paul's traveling companion for the next 6 years until Paul was imprisoned for 2 years in Caesarea on Israel's west coast. The Gospel of Luke is the longest gospel and chock full of details about everything about Jesus: conception, birth, life, death, resurrection, ascension, all his teachings, miracles, parables, and the lives of his disciples. Could you read Luke 1 to 4 for us, please?
Yeah, for sure. It says, many have undertaken to draw up an account of the things that have been fulfilled among us, just as they were handed down to us by those who from the first were eyewitnesses and servants of the word. With this in mind, since I myself have carefully investigated everything from the beginning, I too decided to write an orderly account for you, most excellent Theophilus, so that you may know the certainty of the things you have been taught.
Yeah, carefully investigated everything. Yeah, he was a doctor of fish originally, so he was a curious man, investigated all that. Did he pass the test? I think he did. Luke took nothing for granted. Like a child, he asked how, where, when, and why. Like I said, Luke was Paul's constant companion. How many sermons did he hear from Paul daily? Luke also met all Paul's friends on these journeys. Dr. Luke was a very curious man, questioned everything and everybody, and fell in love with the Jesus story. So when did Luke get a chance to travel Israel and interview all Jesus people? Paul was in prison for 2 years in Caesarea in Israel. And if Jesus' mother was alive at that time, she would have been about 80. Not only did Luke get all the details, he set them all in exact historical detail that we get in particularly in the early part of Luke. Summary of Luke. It starts with John the Baptist, the complete details of his conception, birth, and life, and how he was the forerunner of Jesus. Then we have Mary, Jesus' mother, conception, and her song, the Magnificat, a beautiful song. Then we have the story of Joseph and Mary going to Bethlehem and Jesus born in the stable. Then we talk about the shepherds that are in the field and how the angels sang to them and they found Jesus. They knew where the barn was. Jesus at age 12 was a boy in the temple. Then we have Jesus' genealogy. Luke, like the whole Bible, is an accurate history book, and Luke gives us the history of Jesus from Adam to Jesus. Jesus was tested by Satan, and then we have Jesus' 3.5 year ministry in great detail. And it finishes with Passion Week. Jesus rides into Jerusalem on a donkey, the Last Supper with his disciples. He was arrested and abused all night. He was crucified the next morning with the two thieves. The death and resurrection, his death and then resurrection 3 days later. Then Jesus meets the disciples on Sunday evening, and then Jesus' ascension from the Mount of Olives. The Gospel of Luke was rich on love, rich on details, and rich on Jesus.
Amen. Thanks a lot for this, Harry.
Thank you.